You are tuned in to 50/50 News on the House of the Princess channel, hosted by Princess A.V, featuring world, local, celebrity, and YouTube news. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell as I give you the traditional news with a small twist of ratchet. Let's go. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Now, why do I look all dark and blurry? Oh, how are y'all doing? Let me see if I can lighten that up. 1 second. I have a shadow on my face. Well, that looks better. A little bit better. Hold on one moment. You know, I'm getting back used to this. That's a little bit better. I look a little bit lighter. And when I was doing it every day, it was like clockwork. And then I got this new scenery, still getting used to changing stuff around. So I got to get my mojo back. So I do apologize for that. And I hope y'all don't see the bags under my eyes and everything. This is your late night 50/50 news. I almost didn't do it. Like a lot of times I get tired and I'm like, I ain't going to do it. I ain't nobody going to come. But then I have to realize we have people all over the world who watch House of the Princess. And there's always the replay. So with that being said, I would like for you to come in, press the like button. Also, subscribe. I know that we got it on subscribers only because we got to keep control of the all over the world trolls, okay? Excuse me, I'm trying to pull the fan up closer because the air conditioner is across the hall in my room, and I hope it's not too loud. So I would like to say good morning to everybody. Again, press the like button, subscribe. If you feel so inclined, also join the membership of the channel because I will be revamping some of my membership activities and whatnot as I'm getting back into it. I gotta make the rent like other folks, and I'll talk about my little fundraiser later, but I need to get back to making content in my spare time. But without further ado, we're gonna get right to it since it is late at night. I don't want it to be super duper long, but we are going to do the news. If this is your first time watching, again, as you can see right here, my name is Princess A.V, and that is also all the ways that you can get in touch with me on my social medias. Tonight, I will be doing our 50/50 news. Y'all been asking for it. It's here. So we do the top stories in Chicagoland local news, national news, entertainment news, and some YouTube news. So without further ado, now my internet's want to start acting up soon as I get on here. It's funny. So please bear with me. Let me see if I need to close something. That I'm gonna close my Photoshop, and that might take away from some of the hard drive spaces using close, close. Okay, so that's one thing that pulls a lot of my hard drive that can help us move faster. So with that being said, we're going to go to our Chicago local news, and let me know in the chat if we have any sound problems so that I can fix it quickly. Our first story is about the Buckingham Fountain. That is a tourist attraction here in Chicago. It is in the center of downtown, right by our Lakeshore Drive. This weekend, it was vandalized, which is something very rare, but it was vandalized in protest. So we are going to Channel 5 News, which I ain't even shared the screen. See, that's what I said. I got to get my mojo back in doing this. Um, it is that is given to you by NBC 5, Channel 5 News. So without further ado, how do I have this layout? No. There it is. There's our 50/50 news layout. This is from Channel 5 News again about the Buckingham Fountain vandalization, as they call it.
Popular tourist hotspot Buckingham Fountain is off after an overnight protest because somebody turned the fountain red and spray painted around it, protesting the Israel-Hamas war. NBC5's Randy Gyllenhaal has more on where the investigation stands and when that fountain might reopen.
On this hot summer Saturday, Chicago's Buckingham Fountain turned off. The usually crisp, clear water, a dark, disturbing shade of red.
It just ruins it for everybody. It's like people came here just to see that.
Tourists disappointed as the Park District closed the century-old fountain until further notice. Police say vandals dyed the water overnight. From above, a stark color on the skyline. This video taken by professional drone pilot Colin Hinkle.
There was a weird color in the water, and it looked like it was red mixed with green.
He noticed the color early this morning from his high-rise, then went to Grant Park with his drone to investigate.
Then I started to see the graffiti on the ground around, and that's when I realized that it was something done in protest.
You can see the messages, Gaza is bleeding, stop the genocide, the water symbolically blood red.
Within a matter of 30 minutes, it was already pure red, and the police had showed up.
By afternoon, the fountain started draining into Lake Michigan, turning part of the lakeshore red, the dye coming out of these large pipes. On the same day as pro-Palestinian demonstrations in the Loop, Chicago police making 11 arrests, protesters demanded an end to the war between Israel and Hamas, but some tourists questioning why the city's iconic fountain became a target.
My flight leaves tonight, so I was hoping to see it before we got out of here, but that's just crazy because it's like, I get everyone has their stance and their political view, that's fine, but it's like you ruin it for people who just truly came to the city to check out stuff.
It's unknown who was behind the vandalism or what kind of dye was used. Chicago Park District assessing the damage here, but no date on when the fountain will reopen. In Grant Park, Randy Gyllenhaal, NBC5 News.
All right, Randy, thank you so much.
This morning, Cook
Again, I'm getting my mojo back. Again, the fountain has been reopened. I guess the water is clear. I haven't been down there to see it. I drove past it the other day. It was off. And I want to be kind of wise with my words. I try to stay away from certain things and certain subjects. And I know the war between Israel and Gaza is very touchy. I hope that it's over soon, at least for this stage. Even in the Quran, it talks about holy wars, and it's always going to be something going on in that region. But I do feel, and I hope that that war or that conflict is dissipated very soon. I know they're working on some type of truce. It's unfortunate that the people of Palestine have to be prisoners of war and have to be in the middle of this thing with Hamas. I don't know what to say, what to do, because I have certain thoughts. Like, people have to defend themselves. There's so much gray area in there. I'm just trying to stay away from it. And, when they say free Palestine, I understand. But the question is, how do we do that? At the end of the day, I don't know what dying the Buckingham Fountain is going to do. We are not the powers that be. We know the shit is going on. I'm kind of like Cardi B. What was the reason? Okay, and it really looked like something from um a biblical thing, like like the Ten Commandments. So it was interesting. Yeah, they've been fighting since 500 BC, like even in the Quran. That's why I'm kind of like, it's forever. It's gonna always be something. So, with that being said, just prayers up to them. Our next story is about the Cook County Commissioner. He has passed on. I have been in the company of him, and he was a really, really nice guy, at least from what I have witnessed of him. His name is Dennis Deere, and I have seen remnants of things that he's done for the community. And so this story is about him. From Fox 32, one of my favorite people, because I have to be careful of who I stream from, like Disney and Tribune, because they'll strike you sometimes for no reason. But Disney, okay, because they depends, because I do Good Morning America, and that's one of their channels.
This morning, Cook County Commissioner Dennis Deere has died. His family made the announcement on social media.
Come on with the ghetto internet.
In a statement, the family said Dr. Deere's passionate, lifelong dedication made him a tireless servant to the community in areas of health, education, economic development, employment and training, reentry, and affordable housing. Deere represented the county's 2nd district. Right now, no word on his cause of death.
That Jimmy, I'm trying to keep the echo from coming. You drove by his office coming back from Sam's Club. Wow. I'm trying to keep in the know of what it is, so I'm sure we'll know something at another time. Okay, so our next story. This is one that pissed me off, pissed you off. This story is been going for almost like a week now. This retired police officer, which at first I was like, okay, he's a police officer. He got shot. But it wasn't just that. He's retired. He is a pastor, of a church on the west side. As we learn more about this story, it's so heartbreaking and it's so harrowing. I'm not going to tell before you see the video. I'm just going to let you see the video first. But he's a retired police officer in his 70s that was slain out on the west side. I'm going to try to stop using so many of the buzzwords, but I'm going to use them. Okay. Here we go. We are in Fox 32, and here is the story.
Good evening to you. I'm Nate Rogers outside TPD's headquarters at 35th and Michigan, where we're learning more about one of the suspects charged in the death of retired TPD officer Reverend Larry Newman. Now, authorities telling us that this isn't the first time that the suspect has been in trouble. In fact, a judge had just ordered him to be on home confinement prior to Saturday's vicious murder.
At that time, electronic monitoring was vacated and the defendant was placed on home confinement.
16-year-old Lazarius Watt now charged as an adult with felony first-degree murder in the death of Reverend Larry Newman. Watt's family leaving the Layton Criminal Courthouse with their faces covered. In court today, prosecutors said Newman was getting ready to pay a man who had just cut his lawn when they noticed the killers approaching with ski masks.
Seeing that these two individuals were armed, Newman heroically pushed the worker out of harm's way. Newman then retrieved his firearm from his waistband. The two offenders began firing, striking Newman.
The shooting happened Saturday morning outside the 73-year-old's home. He was shot in the chest and arm. Newman was a Marine vet and retired from CPD after 30 years as the longest-serving bomb technician.
He's the way, the truth, and the life.
He was also a minister at St. Michael Indy Church.
4 different witnesses who are very familiar with this defendant from the neighborhood and from a school where the defendant attended identified the defendant in multiple video surveillance stills taken from video in the area before the murder.
Prosecutors say Watt is also connected to at least 3 other crimes involving stolen vehicles. In one case, he allegedly led Illinois State Police on a high-speed chase.
Today's armed robber, who's 13, 14 years old, is tomorrow's murderer at the age of 15 or 16 years old. So there has to be some early intervention when we see young people engaging in violent acts and behavior that they should not be engaging in. If we don't intervene now, we will be announcing felony murder charges for a 16-year-old.
And right now, police are still working to track down that second suspect. They know exactly who he is. In fact, sources telling us both suspects graduated from the exact same elementary school on the city's west side. We do know that Newman's funeral arrangements and his services, I should say, are scheduled for this coming Friday and Saturday. It is the latest here outside TPD's headquarters, 35th in Michigan. Nate Rogers, Fox 32 Chicago.
Stories like this piss you off. Now, you saw the family leaving the courthouse with their faces covered, as they should. Because as a mother, I would be shamed. I would be heartbroken. And I want to be careful with my words with this. I know there are times that our kids do things that we would never dream of them doing and we don't approve of. But, you know, I can't imagine raising my children and knowing that they ain't shit. And this is like an epidemic in the city of Chicago. A lot of these crimes are done from children. Your kids are 14 and 15 and sometimes younger, robbing people of their hard-earned stuff, their cars, and like this car shit in the Kia Boys is like ridiculous. Who gets in your child's head against your better judgment, your teaching, especially if you're not doing this type of stuff? You know, it was one thing when kids were selling drugs, and they still do. And, you know, they wanted to make a little money because they didn't have this and that. But now they're doing shit just to be doing shit. Your kids were out there to rob someone. And the audacity to be ready to murder a person. In fact, they did. And he turned himself in, but he really had no choice. Everybody knew who he was, and I'm sure word was out on the street, especially because he killed the neighborhood pastor. Children of that age, he's like the 10th grade. You sophomore high school, you barely can read. You don't know nothing about nothing. And you out here taking lives. Just the balls to be ready to take a life if you needed to. It's a lot. And I'm sure he thinks that he's a man. He thinks. But he's going to find out a hell of a lot more in Cook County. And when they take his ass out of Cook County and send him upstream, he has messed up his whole life. His mother has lost a son over what? A few dollars that you didn't get? Seriously. Where are we fucking up with our kids? No, if I would go to court for my kid, if they was out here doing this type of shit, robbing and carrying on, I tell the judge, don't send them home. Keep them there for a while. But that's just me. Would I want really for my kid to be in jail? No. Would I want them to be institutionalized? But if I can't do nothing with them, send them to boot camp. How do the kids learn the lessons? Are jails the best thing for them? No. But apparently the best thing for them wasn't at home either. We need better programs and we need better parents. If y'all were intervening with the kid when he was younger and impressionable, you wouldn't have been a monster so soon. It's just my opinion. Sometimes you can't, if you have too many kids, one or two of them going to be same shit people, right? Some people, their mental stability makes them a ain't person, but he's a baby. He's a baby. And it's sad, and he's lost his life. And he took somebody else's life. And that man is a hero. He was already a hero for, when out the country, served in the military, did 30 years on the police force. He over there taking bombs out and survived all of that, but couldn't survive somebody's kid. How about that? Rest in peace to Reverend Newman and blessings to his family. I'm off my soapbox now because I knew that was going to piss me off. Next, when we come to somebody else, it kind of pissed me off. Former Alderman Ed Burke, convicted of corruption, years and years of corruption in the city of Chicago. Fox 32 reports on that as well.
2 years in prison. That is the sentence handed out today to former powerful Chicago Alderman Ed Burke.
And it caps a stunning downfall for a man once considered the dean of city council. Paris Schutz was at federal court today for the sentence hearing.
Ed Burke, who was for decades the most powerful council member in Chicago, now has 90 days of freedom before he is slated to report to federal prison on September 23rd for his conviction on 13 counts of corruption.
The formerly loquacious Finance Committee chairman was a man of few words today as he left the federal courthouse building with his wife, former Illinois Supreme Court Chief Justice Ann Burke. Burke was similarly brief in his comments before federal judge Virginia Kendall, taking some responsibility for his conviction, but stopping short of admitting guilt. Quote, "The blame for this is mine and mine alone. I regret the pain and sorrow that I have caused my family and friends, and I would ask your honor to have compassion and mercy." After more than 5 hours of defense and prosecution arguments, Judge Kendall said his crimes were serious. Quote, "What happens when a public official acts in favor of himself rather than the public?" the judge asked from the bench. "That's when citizens lose faith in their public officials, in the belief that those elected officials will represent them." But Kendall clearly did show mercy, offering a sentence that fell far short of the guideline range of between 6.5 and 8 years. Kendall said she had never seen the sheer volume of letters in support of Burke and the good deeds that he'd done. And she noted Burke's advanced age, 80 years old, with recent health struggles.
This was a lighter sentence than was anticipated. I do think you had a situation where the judge was balancing very serious public corruption with this outpouring of support.
And the judge poured cold water on the prosecution's contention that a long sentence was needed to deter future corruption, noting that former Alderman Danny Solis will serve no punishment for his legal troubles. That's because he performed ably as government mole, ensnaring Burke in numerous recorded conversations where Burke attempted to use his powerful city position to make money for his law firm.
While you're at it, recommend the good firm of Clapper and Burke to do the tax work.
All right, I certainly will.
And we can certainly talk about a marketing arrangement for you.
Burke's family, wife, 4 children and grandchildren were on hand during today's hearing and processed the news with mixed emotions. On top of Burke's 2-year sentence, he gets 1 year of supervised release and faces $2 million in fines.
With Burke's tepid statement of contrition today, we now await a potential appeal. Neither he, nor his attorneys, nor prosecutors spoke with the media today. Reporting from the Dirksen Federal Building, Paris Schutz, Fox 32 Chicago.
Fuck him. Fuck them. Hey, AT2. Fuck them all. Okay. I question his wife. Former judge of the Illinois Supreme Court. They all benefited from the degradation of the people, especially people, black men. All of them had something to do with the crooked ass police sending people to jail for years and years. 2 years. I could give a fuck about how old he is. He could lose. He took lives and did a lot of shit to people, so we could take his life. And if you didn't want to put him to jail for 10 years, then he should be in his home for the rest of the duration. 2 years and $2 million is not enough for all the years that he did corruption to the city of Chicago. And I don't care about good things. Yes, everybody got some good, and even the devil had some good in him at some point in time, but fuck him. Fuck him. He really didn't want them to sentence him to, I think he was trying to push that shit back so that he could die before he got sentenced. How I feel about it. Child. Our next story is also about a bereaved family. The Children's Hospital was named after Anne Laurie, and she has passed away. It's a story from a channel named Fox.
Tributes have been pouring in today for one of Chicago's biggest philanthropists. Anne Laurie died at the age of 79, but the impact she has had on the city will last for decades. Most well known because her name is on the front of the Children's Hospital, Anne Laurie's work has extended far beyond that. Over the years, she has supported a number of causes, from education to the arts to social services. Born and raised in Florida to a single mother, Anne Laurie went on to earn a nursing degree, working in public health before relocating to Chicago in 1973. Once she arrived, she worked as a pediatric intensive care nurse at Children's Memorial Hospital. She met her late husband, Robert Laurie, after that and devoted herself to raising their 6 children after his 1990 death. Mayor Brandon Johnson had a statement that read, end quote, Anne's spirit of generosity and her selfless drive to make the world a better place will forever inspire the people of our city. I am extending my heartfelt condolences to her family and friends as her legacy of kindness and compassion will be cherished and remembered always. Lurie Children's CEO, Dr. Tom Shanley, shared a statement about her passing as well. Reading in part, quote, Anne's experience as a pediatric critical care nurse at the former Children's Memorial Hospital inspired her to make an unprecedented gift of $100 million in 2007 that helped to build our beautiful Streeterville Hospital. This gift continues to be the largest charitable investment received in our 142-year history. Lurie Children's will forever be grateful to Anne for creating a legacy that allows us to provide the highest quality, most compassionate care for patients and families across Chicagoland and beyond. Anne's life inspires us all to embrace the power of her mantra to do a good deed daily. And that was shown through her many charitable works.
You know, this story was actually enlightening to me. First of all, $100 million. Like, how much money you got that you can afford to give away $100 million? And you got 6 kids. But nevertheless, the hospital is beautiful. The kindness and graciousness that they show towards children, top of the line staff. I know people that have worked there. One of the most beautiful hospitals, and it's right off the Lake Michigan, like they can see the lake and all of that. Beautiful views right across from the water tower. She said, that's wealthy, not rich. Yes, okay. They got money, but I didn't know who she really was, so I was able to learn about her through this story. And just rest in peace to her. More power to the family. I'm sure she got insurance. So how much the kids getting? Jesus Christ, I don't mean to be tacky, but child, if only you had your babies there, Roxy. So you know. Okay, so the next story is kind of long, and I'm sure people have wondered, like, you from Chicago, and you haven't talked about this story yet. Yeah, because I really didn't want to, and I'm looking at other people that talk about it. I wanted to kind of wait before I reported on this, but this is an interesting story. Out there in Dalton, I'm trying to see. I haven't dug deep because I've been busy. By proxy, I have access to Thornton Township stuff because I have my father living in Dalton, Illinois. Those who are from the Chicago area, you already know where I'm going with this. Thornton Township Supervisor, Dalton Supermayor, Tiffany Henyard, has struck again. Now this story, I haven't watched the whole story, but I'm gonna watch it because it's long. Kind of bothered me because it's no secret. One of my cousins is a firefighter in Dalton, Illinois. And she is being accused of stealing the firefighters' money or misplacing their pension. So we're going to see what look, I usually don't put comments on the screen during news, but this one she is so ghetto. Let's bring Tahoe Tiffany to the screen and see what she's talking about. And NBC News.
This is an NBC5 News exclusive. They put their lives on the line when people need help. But some firefighters in a South suburban community are raising concerns about the money that is supposed to be spent on their retirement and health care benefits. NBC5's Regina Waldrop spoke with one firefighter in Dalton who's now demanding answers.
The ongoing saga in Dalton now spilling over into the fire department.
But when the mayor first started to run in 2021, we did endorse her, and then everything went sideways.
Adam Farrick has been a firefighter in the village for 10 years. He's also union rep for Local 3766.
We have a ton of concerns.
Most revolve around financial issues. These are some of the grievances the union has filed against the village. Farrick claims many of the village's 21 firefighters don't want to speak out for fear of retaliation.
And there's always that scare of retaliation of what's going to happen if we don't beat to their drum.
Farrick claims money taken out of their checks for a retirement plan not going where it should.
I pick the amount that I would like with taken out of my check, and then that money is supposed to go to Nationwide. It has not been happening.
He also claims firefighters are having issues with health insurance, which the village pays for. These are some of the documents shared with NBC5 that say premiums have not been received.
Members are getting claims denied, and we did file agreements over that as well.
Trustee Brittany Norwood tells us these issues are very concerning.
It's very sad. It's sad because for the last 3 years, my colleagues on the board and I have been questioning how the money is being spent. We've been fighting for transparency so that we can have the answers to these financials.
Firefighters say they've been working without a contract going on 5 years, and they claim the village is refusing to sit down and negotiate.
We all come here because we love this place.
But you just wish?
I wish that the upper administration could get it together and do the right thing.
The Henyard administration did not respond to our requests for a statement. In Dalton, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
Regina, thank you.
Right now at 4:30, disorder in the village of Dalton that we've been covering for months is now impacting other suburbs where Mayor Tiffany Henyard also has a leadership role. Henyard is also the supervisor of Thornton Township, which includes a total of 17 towns.
Elected officials are speaking out about budgets, federal probes, and financial records. Regina Waldrop is in Markham with more on that story.
You guys have been led astray. You have been bamboozled. You have been fooled.
Dalton, not the only community concerned about self-titled super mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And if she speaks out loud one more time, you remove her.
The mayor of Markham questioning her decisions and her leadership. Henyard has dual roles, mayor and Thornton Township supervisor.
I'm standing with the full force of this government here, and I don't see that happening in Thornton Township. I don't see it happening in Dalton either.
17 communities make up Thornton Township, representing more than 158,000 people. And this township, also a taxing body. Right now, the township is without a budget. It was to be approved May 31st, but was tabled.
That budget needs to be looked into much deeper.
Aldermen say they are being inundated with calls from taxpayers.
I hear it every day. There's no transparency within our township.
Henyard is at the center of a wide-ranging federal investigation and a number of lawsuits.
At some point, there needs to be some oversight, and someone has to get to the bottom of what and why these things are happening.
Questions are also being raised about Henyard using taxpayer dollars for personal expenses, including her makeup artist. This itemized payroll sheet for the township from May of last year lists Brandon Moman as an administrative assistant. But when we reached out to him, he told us he's Henyard's makeup artist. Chris Gonzalez is a Thornton Township trustee.
Once again, a long series, unfortunately, of things that just seem to be done incorrectly or possibly illegally.
We reached out to Henyard's administration for comment, but didn't hear back. Today, Governor Pritzker shared his thoughts on Tiffany Henyard and whether the state should step in.
There is an investigation that's been called for, and now I know there was a veto that was overridden that will now allow that investigation to go forward.
Reporting from Markham, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
Thanks to Regina. She's worked hard on that story. And chaos, confusion, and police rushing in to remove people from a suburban Dalton building.
This all happened last night after a majority of trustees voted for Chicago's former mayor, Lori Lightfoot, to continue her investigation of Dalton's current mayor, Tiffany Henyard. NBC5's Regina Waldrop has more on what happens next.
Dalton's Village Hall.
Hello. Nobody's going to be hurt if you keep talking.
A hotbed of activity Monday night with a village board meeting that went off course. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was there.
Okay, nobody going to speak. We're going to clear the room in a minute.
Briefly addressing residents before her mic was shut off.
Okay. Even though they turned the mics off, we will continue working on behalf of the residents of Dalton, and we will give you the facts that you deserve.
Why would we pay anybody any money if y'all have the actual people, meaning the FBI's here? So why would we waste money?
Before the meeting was stopped, a majority of trustees voted to override a recent veto by the mayor, allowing Lightfoot to continue her investigation into Tiffany Henyard, who's accused of misspending and also at the center of a number of lawsuits in a wide-ranging federal probe. Lightfoot in a statement writing, "I look forward to the work ahead and urge Mayor Henyard and her administration to fully cooperate with this investigation by promptly providing the requested documentation to give all concerned a complete and accurate accounting of the fiscal conditions for the village." During public comment, residents had a lot to say about the village's finances, investigations, and the fact that barricades were put up around Village Hall before the meeting.
I think it's so horrible that this mayor will use her police department to block all the parking spaces so the elderly and the handicapped people have to walk a block to get to this meeting.
Also happening at that meeting, Mayor Henyard struck down the recent appointment of trustee Jason House as mayor pro tem. The next Dalton Village Board meeting is set for June 17th. Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
Regina, you are on the story. We appreciate it. It's Friday night. Welcome. Good evening. I'm Stefan Holtz.
And I'm Allison Rosati. We begin with something unexpected. A rescheduled budget hearing brings lots of fireworks in South Suburban Thornton Township, where a new budget was approved just a short time ago. Now, residents had lots of questions about spending and the township supervisor, Tiffany Henyard, who's also the mayor of Dalton. Our Regina Waldrop's been on this story from the very beginning. She joins us now live with the latest. Regina.
Allison, I have covered a lot of budget meetings, and this one that just wrapped up a short time ago, anything but boring. There was clapping, shouting, screaming, and then there were police. They were on the ready to escort people out of the meeting.
Breathe for yourself. Remove her. Remove her. Remove her. Remove her. Like, you gotta go.
This budget meeting anything but typical.
Been led astray. You have been bamboozled. You have been
Thornton Township residents from several south suburban communities filled the room, and they had lots to say.
Because what we're not going to do is we're not going to be homeless behind her raising our taxes.
And you were said that you have good business skills, then you should take a look at the budget again. You are a public servant. You serve us.
Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard is also the mayor of Dalton. She is the focus of a wide-ranging FBI investigation. She's also being sued by several Dalton employees, current and former. Residents say there are concerning issues with the township's spending and other areas of township government.
There are so many red flags.
People are just so tired of this whole situation with the not being transparent. And for Dalton, I can speak for Dalton, we don't know what's going on with our money at all.
Henyard makes $224,000 a year in her township supervisor job. In December, the Board of Trustees passed an ordinance that some called outlandish. It states that if Henyard runs for re-election in 2025 and loses, her successor's salary would drop to only $25,000 a year. But a bill passed in Springfield this week would undo that ordinance and make sure a move like this doesn't happen in the future. And that bill did pass in both houses. And right now, all it needs is the signature of the governor. And here's what we still don't know tonight: the total amount of the spending plan that was approved. We're still trying to find that number. I'm live in South Holland tonight. Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
Regina, thank you.
Federal judges have put the brakes on one of President Biden.
I told you. Tahoe Tiffany is a trip. As you can see, those meetings be lit. And if you're unfamiliar with this case, you can see other bloggers talk about this on YouTube, but most of them are not from around here. But you can always watch the budget meetings on the Dalton. I'll add that link in the description box. The Dalton trustee, because it's two different things in one. But the Dalton Village Hall has a page, and you can watch those trustee meetings live and in action. I'm sure the action is way better inside the town hall. You saying let's go one day, Roxy, but this is the thing. They just had one on the 17th. You gotta get there early as shit, because it's the truth. Them people be complaining. They say that they block the parking off, and it's not a lot of parking over there. The township is over there by Ingalls. And I don't know if it's in Dalton or at the township. I think it's at the township. And you got to park a block or two away from the building and walk. And you got to be there early because it's very, very, very limited seating. And then if the meeting started at 6, they might start at 7 because Tiffany don't like to show up on time. She be getting her hair, nails, and shit done. Or she just shows up when she wants to. And this has been a complaint about the trustees, is like, who is she to hold up the meeting for an hour, 2 hours? And they be getting lit in. They be cussing her the fuck out. I'm only here really for like the beginning part when there's public speaking. And you gotta, fight to get on the list. And I heard it's very tense in there. Dalton, Illinois is not a big town. It doesn't make a whole lot of money, okay? There are a lot of homeowners, but it's not a rich suburb. It's not. And the township includes several south suburbs, some of them which are really just poor, very poor. And you're allegedly, you're taking the money. I want to report on this, but y'all know I don't like to report on just what everybody else is reporting. I may go see if I could get some paperwork from them, which they have to make public for the residents of Dalton. So I'm able to do that. See if I can get time to really maybe uncover something from the inside that's different, or maybe I'll ask my cousin what he thinks about things going on his side. Just a few things, see if I can get some information. I used to know before Tahoe Tiffany was the trustee, it was Zuccarelli was the trustee, and he passed away. And so he was a really good guy. I'm trying to see who I know, Frank, who was adjacent to Frank Zuccarelli, that I might can talk to and get some information. But it's always somebody that knows somebody, and that's literally 15, 20 minutes away from me. Roxy, maybe we can go see Daddy one day and be there early and just maybe Uber over there or something, or drive there early from his house. So we'll see. Maybe we go to the July meeting or the other Saturday meeting that they have they have one for the township, because those are different. I also had a relationship with Brother Holmes, Andrew Holmes. I am appalled and shocked at the allegations that are being brought up against him. Am I gonna say that he ain't doing no? I wasn't there, and I can't tell you what went on between him and that girl. He has inadvertently admitted to something going on, but what he's saying is that it wasn't non-consensual. But him being a pillar of the community for so long, I see him on the street. Hey, Brother Holmes. This is a man also we honored at, the nonprofit that I used to work at. She looks like she drinks Hennessy and Red Bull. Don't even give her the honor of Hennessy. Okay, she looks like she drank the E&J, like real cheap ghetto stuff. Like she drink 40s. It's the most money she'd ever had. But yeah, I'm upset. I'm let down that Andrew Holmes has these types of allegations. I've seen some people, some people that belong, from this channel talk about him like a dog. And I'm not saying y'all can't talk about him, but y'all don't know him. I know him. It's like being with him. Don't talk about him. You don't know him to talk about him, but I know him to talk about him. And, you would make him seem like he's heartless. But I'm going to tell you, every time somebody loses their loved one or there is something going on in the community, he's there. And he wakes up out of his bed every time of the hour to come help out people in the community, losing their children, losing their family members. And it's sad that your legacy is going to be tarnished by whatever happened in that room. And it makes you think about, if you did this, possibly, what else have you done? And just like Ed Burke, you can say, oh, you did all these good things, but what about this shit here that you did? That don't take that away from that. So again, with that, I'm eventually probably do a video on Tahoe Tiffany, but I'm not going to keep making this long. I'm almost an hour into the video, and I've only gotten local news, but some of this other stuff is going to go by quick. And so with that being said, we are done with local news. If you're just tuning in or tuned in later, watching this on the replay, you are watching the 50/50 news. And it is me, Princess A.V., your host. I am the proprietor of the House of the Princess. Okay. This is your factual, actual news with a little twist of a ratchet. And that is my little commentary on everything I do as a journalist, and I really legit am a journalist, and I have papers to prove it. I have learned that you need to be factual and non-biased about the news, and I can be that, but sometimes I just give y'all a little extra and tell you what I think at the end. So I hope that you've hit the like button and definitely hit the subscribe button. Support a Black business, you know what I'm saying? And without further ado, we are going to go to the next section, which is worldwide news. Worldwide and national news. I be forgetting about my little things. Okay, so our first story is, honey, we trying to get rid of these student loans, honey, but they just won't let them be, okay? The House, the Congress, I get confused sometimes. But anyway, them people's up there, them old lighter melanin challenge people don't want us to be great, okay? So like here you go, okay?
And welcome back to the Factor on.
No, thank you.
Federal judges have put the brakes on one of President Biden's plans to tackle student loan.
They say the administration does not have the authority to wipe out billions of dollars in debt, and only Congress can.
As Rebecca Castor reports, this puts debt relief for millions of Americans in jeopardy.
It's a campaign promise President Biden keeps trying to deliver on. But once again, one of his plans to forgive billions of dollars in student debt has been blocked by federal courts.
The president has no textual basis in law for this plan, and I'm not going to let Joe Biden saddle working Missouri families with Ivy League debt.
Missouri's attorney general is behind one of several lawsuits filed against Biden's income-driven repayment plan known as SAVE, which aimed to wipe out remaining balances and cut payments for millions of borrowers.
We know Congress has the power of the purse, not the president.
A federal judge in Missouri agreed and ordered the Biden administration to stop further cancellations of student debt under this program. Millions of borrowers were also less than a week away from seeing their monthly bill drop by half. But a federal judge in Kansas says the White House can't do that either.
This is likely going to the Supreme Court.
The White House plans to appeal both decisions. But the last time President Biden took a massive student debt relief plan to the Supreme Court, it was struck down.
And these courts saying it's not that different. That is, you're still trying to do something that I don't see any evidence that Congress gave you authority to do.
These rulings do not impact President Biden's aid package for student debt forgiveness under the Higher Education Act. That plan is still in the approval process. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox 32 Chicago.
Let me tell you something. That light-skinned man, that red man, that country man, he said we is not paying back your Ivy League debt. First of all, the relief is not for the people in Ivy League. Most people that went to Harvard and stuff, they can pay their loans back. The income-driven repayment plan, I'm on it, okay? And I've received $10,000 thus far. Thank you, Sleepy Joe. Country. People got an Ivy League education and, you know, making big money in these tech corporations, all that. They don't need to be really under the income-driven repayment plan because they're making enough money to pay their loans back. The majority of people that are in that payment plan are poor people. People that's got these loans, went to regular, schmegler state school, and it's a consolidation loan through the U.S. Department of Education. And what they do is they let you pay back based on your income. All right. So at one point when I was really poor and I hadn't got even half as far as I am now in school, my payments, I had kids. My payments was $7 a month for my loans. That was many, many, many moons ago. You can get them deferred. You can get a forbearance when you're doing something. It's very flexible. I would just let say anybody who can do it to do it. They look at your income, how much you're bringing in versus the amount of money that you should be paying back to the government for your loans. And that is how they get your payment. So whoever that man was, fuck him. Oh, I'm not talking to you. Okay. He's malinformed, okay, and misinformed. And that just shows you how they put stuff out, excuse me, to the public. And I hate belching on the phone. I'm sorry. At least it's not loud and ghetto like some content creators. You know, and how they would like to put information out here to us to keep us just in the wrong. Okay, my producer is back there being loud in the kitchen. Okay, so next, you're paying your Dane from SSU. All right. You should have gotten in that IDR. Thank you, DGF. You one of the people that are, we're going to run news. Okay, I'm here. It's late today, but you know, one step at a time. I'm trying to flip myself over on my sleeping schedule. I haven't wanted to do it all day, and I just pushed myself. I'm like, I'm gonna do a live today. Next, speaking of misinformation, you shouldn't have to pay nothing back from there. You going out of here backwards, sis. We got the draft. Okay, selective services automatically signing up men 18 to 26 years old so that you can serve your country.
And welcome back to the Factor Uncensored. An update from Capitol Hill. The House has passed a defense bill that automatically registers men who are between the ages of 18 to 26 for the military draft. This is part of the annual National Defense Authorization Act. As of now, the selective service is already mandatory for men between 18 and 24 years old. There's no military draft in place right now, but Congress and the president can reinstate the draft and force men to serve in the event of a national emergency or war. This hasn't been invoked in more than half a century. Some people on social media appear to have misunderstood this and believe a draft is coming or that they are automatically going into the military.
Yeah, who is it? We're here for the military draft. Draft? That's correct. Oh, you talking about my TikTok draft? My draft? They a little embarrassing. No, young man. You are getting drafted. Oh, the draft? Yeah, it's a little windy in here. You talking about the war? You are going to war. Identify as a war.
Let's talk about it on this Social Media Monday. Joining us now, our social media expert, Karen Diamant, and University of Houston downtown professor, Dr. Dietrich von Bietenfeld. So Karen, I mean, you get videos like that, and then you hear or you see the post that the Congress is drafting people. Mm-hmm. And it's in some instances intentionally misleading people on social media. What have you seen out there?
Oh man, it is awesome. Just from a social media user's perspective, the TikTokers understood the assignment, and Cardi B called them out. She said, these people don't want to go to war. They're TikTokers, you know? And so they're just putting on their best, doing skits like what we just saw. And in a way, making a little bit of a mockery, right, of the situation.
But those who don't research will believe that.
Correct. And so it's creating a social media war about going to war because of the draft, that the law hasn't really changed. It is just now an automatic enrollment. But, you know, people don't read. People get all up in their social media feelings and they just go into it with their skits. And that's what I'm seeing. A lot of people just that, you know, are saying, I'm getting drafted. They're doing skits, and people in the comments are going in on them saying, oh, you're a coward. And, you know, people don't really want to go to war. And so it's the older generation chiming in on the comments, making fun of them.
They never really considered there is no war for us right now in the United States.
Right.
But Dr. Dietrich von Bietenfeld, let's go over this. What is happening? I can remember when I turned 18 back in slavery days, and I actually had to go to the post office and fill out the form. but now it's much easier. And this will make it even easier for those because you're required. Well, you tell us the law.
Right. Well, you've always been required if you're a male between 18 and 24, 25 between that age range, you could be subject to more than $250,000 in various costs, as well as possible federal incarceration if you didn't fulfill that mandatory requirement. However, now this is going to automate that. So instead of people having to manually do this, it'll reduce the advertising expenses for the Department of Defense, reminding people of this obligation. So it's a little bit more of a streamlined process, or the intention is at least, to not only add an extra year of range and increase some equity because people have circumvented it. So they're trying to integrate systems to make sure that people, sort of like the IRS, always make sure that they can find you when they want your money.
Right.
At the end of the day, this is a way for them to say, well, you could be eligible. We haven't had one since '73, but we could make you go to war. Of course, it's Monday, so the only draft I'm worried about is that flying saucer.
And you have a gold plate on the wall. but for those who are wondering, like, the current situation is like you sign up when you're getting your driver's license now. How does that work now versus automatic when you turn 18, you're in the system?
Right. As of now, when you file your voter registration, driver's license, those things, depending on how late you waited to get your license, but your voter registration as a male, a social security card, things like that, they remind you, and they have to send out mailers, which are expensive. And so they ask you to self-select and remind them. But this system is intended to, again, integrate databases of Social Security Administration, Department of Treasury, and Department of Defense under this Authorization Act to allow you not to even have to think about it, and for them not to think about it when they press that button and say, actually, we do need your military service now. Button pressed, show up.
All right. We want to thank you both for joining us here on The Factor for Karen Social Media Monday.
Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry signed into law a bill.
So basically, they said, got him. You were not being drafted, but I do think there's something like really, after all these years, sneaky about that. So no, you won't be. There isn't a draft. They're just making sure that you sign your life over in case they decide to do a draft, and that you don't forget that we own you as the government. Also, DGF, that is a house that you owed in your loans. So I'm still working on the PSLF. I didn't really know about it to fully sign up during the pandemic, before the deadline stopped like a year ago, but I really didn't have a lot of time in. But now I am putting my time in right now. And also I think I have a fellowship for the fall that I'm going to be working. And yeah, as I'm working, I'm getting them loans forgiven. So I pray God be with me as he is with you. Okay. They don't have enough volunteers. I don't think they ever really have enough volunteers when you sending people to die. But that's the whole thing. And that's what the whole thing is sinister about it, is that if they end up not having enough volunteers, that is what the selective service does, or the draft does, is they say, you look like you might be a good candidate. Come here, let me look at you. What? Come on, let daddy look at you, see if you need to come over here. So that's basically what that means. I mean, I ain't going, but I imagine they have enough volunteers. I wonder if they're preparing for something that we don't know about. That's what I feel like. Crazy. I should have a doctorate, verify your employment every year. Well, right now they do have it, okay? I started putting it in, and baby, by the time I came back, they had it ran down. It's something about working for the city here. Baby, it comes up. I'm waiting. I'm mad. I got to get up and go to the link card office tomorrow because they ain't cost me, okay? When I go in summertime, I need all of my things, okay? All my free monies, okay? I am out of work and unemployed right now. And As soon as I show up, and they be like, "Oh, okay, we see you, sis. Here you go." And I'll be like, "Thank you." And so, it automatically shows up, and it shows the dates and everything. So yeah, that's what's great about this city here. Anywho, this next story. Everybody needs a little Jesus. I am not necessarily mad at this next story. Oh yeah, I'm having trouble. I'm trying to put in some of that past stuff that I need to put in. You know, give me a little extra time. Anywho, back to the next story. The state of Louisiana has incorporated that you must, okay, they mandated that you must display the 10 Commandments in school. All right, here's CBN, the Christian Bible News Network.
New today, Oklahoma.
I'm muted. Outside of one of my friends, I've never heard anybody call it Sky Daddy. Nobody's forcing you to embrace the religion. Y'all need some Jesus in these fucking schools. I know that whole sentence was crazy, but you need something. You know what I'm saying? And really, the 10 Commandments is just basic rules of road. People teach all the time, treat others as you would do unto others, as you would have them do unto you. That is a 10 Commandment. Thou shalt not kill. Don't y'all believe that? Thou shalt not steal. That ain't religious. All religions believe in that. Look, I'm trying to. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Don't cheat on your husband and wife. Everybody believes in that. Thou shalt not covet that neighbor's wife. Don't be trying to fuck your friend's girl or fuck your, you know. What else? I gotta look at them all in order. I'm saying them out. Honor your mother and father so that your days would be long. Everybody believes in that. What's the problem? If you don't want your kids to walk past it, walk past it. Especially if you don't, walk past it. As long as they don't make you do it. We got all kind of fuck shit on the walls in the school and don't nobody say nothing. I was showing one of my grammar schools. But if you go to the Quran and some other religions, some of those have the same some of the same thoughts in their book. You know, it's like you said, it's historical. You read it. You don't have, it's not pushing it on you. I brought one of my grammar school kids into the high school, and she was just appalled that it was rubbers and condoms and posters about fucking everywhere. I don't know if my 14-year-old self would have been 15-year-old self coming into high school encouraging things about sex. I would not want you to encourage my kids to go get some rubbers, but this is a new world. There are a lot of people that think that LGBTQ paraphernalia on the wall is offensive and is against their belief. There are some schools that have legit clubs and organizations for Satanism. That's their religion. I wouldn't want my kid to see that, but you got to respect it. So it's all about what you teach your people. And if you ain't on that shit, just don't get on the shit. Don't look at it, move past. But the minute they took God out of our schools and stopped doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and like these kids don't know none of that. Look at how our schools are. Could it be that bad? And you're talking about Louisiana where they had slaves and shit. Was they teaching all that moral compass? This is the flip side of that. All that moral compass when it's full of racism down there. I mean, just it's inappropriate and unfair. It's a presentation of Muslim Buddhists towards free thinking, especially in the courthouse. Did they say the courthouse? They just said school. Where is it? Rosen. They don't make students recite the Pledge of Allegiance, nation under God, right? What's the difference? They don't say none of that. It's indoctrinating children. They can't think logically like you do. Is it? Because we're indoctrinating kids in a whole bunch of ways. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate for this here. I think it's kind of odd that he chose the 10 Commandments, but how do you think you even that out? Scriptures from the Quran. Excuse me. Laws of Buddhism. Like we'll never, we'll always be fighting about something, especially when it comes to religion and politics. It's just something to think about. On to the next story, where maybe these 10 Commandments would have been better suited. Down, is this Georgia? I forgot where it was. There's a religious school, charter school, that was scheduled to be open. A Catholic charter school, which is scheduled to be open, and the neighbors are shutting the shit down because they mad.
New today, Oklahoma will not be home to the nation's first religious charter school.
The state Supreme Court says the virtual charter or public Catholic school in OKC is unconstitutional. Now hundreds of families are looking at what's next.
KOCO's Kylie Thomas spoke with a mother who said she was blindsided. Kylie.
Yeah, Alyssa is a mom to a soon-to-be fourth grader. Today, she told me she's left feeling confused and questioning why she was even able to enroll her son if St. Isidore wasn't a surefire thing.
I'm completely blindsided because I just thought everything had been pushed through.
Alyssa Spencer is just one of some 200 Oklahoma parents who signed their student up for a school that no longer exists. On Tuesday, the Oklahoma Supreme Court ruled St. Isidore, the nation's first religious charter school, was unconstitutional, a decision this El Reno mother didn't know was up for debate.
I just had no reason to think that it wouldn't. I never saw anything. They were posting on Facebook every single day promoting their school. And like even part of my job at my church was to promote their school.
Alyssa enrolled her 9-year-old son for the upcoming school year. She said she was never told by St. Isidore to have a backup plan or made to believe this school wouldn't open. Now she's left scrambling to find a new school.
We came from like a private school, a Catholic school, so this would have been a more like affordable option for us. I'm nervous to not get a spot in somewhere, or I'm nervous to just fully homeschool.
Now today, the Archdiocese of Oklahoma City and Diocese of Tulsa said they are examining all legal options moving forward. Reporting live, Kylie Thomas, KOCO 5 News.
Okay, the thing about this is, hey boo, this is the flip side of that. I don't see what the problem is. These people are signing their kids up for a religious school that we know that is religious. It's not a public school. It's a charter school, and charter schools still have different funding. It might be somewhat state funding, but it's still different. If you know that this school is a religious school, it is an alternative school. Charter schools are made for that, for alternative learning, alternative thoughts, and I find it... Boo comes in right at this time we talk about charter schools, and y'all mad at that. Like, I don't understand. These are people who are choosing to send their kids to a religious based school, and y'all say it's unconstitutional. And this is what I'm saying, DGF. Like, they gonna always be mad at something. So you don't want the 10 Commandments school in public schools, and that's fine. I get it. But now this is the Oklahoma where y'all say y'all can't practice your religion together, that your parents, everybody chooses to do, because you just don't want this school to be that. Like, there's never a winning hand in this. And it's, upsetting, frustrating. As we're going to change gears, this is the last story of national news. It is very somber and sobering. This is a trigger warning. I got to put that on my list of things to do, to make a trigger warning thing to put up. This is a trigger warning, this next story. This story is about a man who took the life of his mother, his cousin, and his baby's mother. This is down in Florida, they say. Charlamagne the God says all the craziest people in the world are in the Bronx and in Florida. That's funny, but this situation is not funny. So we're going to hear this story down in Tampa Bay news. Boom, boom, boom. Where's my stuff?
Detectives in Manatee County are trying to figure out what set off a man to kill 3 women last night, including his mother and cousin. They say Javante Bryce also nearly fled the state to kill an ex-girlfriend in Georgia before he died in a shootout with deputies. And that's not all. They believe Bryce initially targeted a different ex-girlfriend in Palmetto until his sister talked him down.
As Fox 13's Kimberly Cuisin reports for us tonight, he then went after his other loved ones.
This is where Bryce started. Deputies say he came to a motel room where his mom was staying. He told her he was sorry before he shot her 3 times.
Once he opened that door, it was just sheer pandemonium, chaos.
At this Motel 6 around 9:17 Tuesday night, Christina Valentine's husband rushed to help 48-year-old Titi Maisha Scott.
People yelling, screaming, he shot my mom, he shot my mom, somebody call 911.
Deputies say Scott's own son, 28-year-old Javante Bryce, pulled the trigger.
He was out of here before we even came out of our room. Like, it happened like that.
23 minutes later, deputies were called to this home off 26th Street Court East in Palmetto.
I heard a pop.
Deputies say he killed his cousin, 29-year-old Sequoia Bryce, as she was leaving a family cookout.
That's when I see 2 people out there and they're going, oh my God, they're on the ground.
24 minutes later, deputies say Bryce drove to an apartment complex in Bradenton off 51st Street Circle West, where he killed an ex-girlfriend's new partner, Sharrell Carter.
He seemed to have an agenda. He knew exactly who he wanted to kill, and he did not have a hard time locating them.
Deputies sent out a bolo after learning Bryce was traveling to Georgia, where another ex-girlfriend lived. Hamilton County deputies tried to pull him over, but Bryce came out shooting. Deputies shot back, killing him.
We don't know what set this man off.
Court records show Bryce had struggled with his mental health. 2 risk protection orders were filed against him in 2021 and 2023. In them, it states he tried to commit suicide at least twice. Deputies are trying to piece together what was going through his mind the night of his rampage.
This family is devastated. This is going to be a very difficult thing for them to overcome.
Sheriff Wells believes they could learn more information from a woman who was with Bryce, and deputies believe she was traveling with him at the time of all the shootings, and detectives are now interviewing her. In Manatee County, Kimberly Cuisin, Fox 13 News.
Tonight. That's crazy. I didn't hear about that at first, but that's crazy that you would be traveling with someone while they're committing murders on a murdering spree. Who's to say that she did it voluntarily? Who's to know that she knew what he was doing? There was a woman, I saved it somewhere. I don't know. There was a woman that was trying to meet up with him like that day, one of his pieces or whatever. And he said he didn't have time to meet with her. And she said, Look at God. Well, who's to say that she wouldn't have been? No, this is not it. She wouldn't have been on his list, right? Yeah, I didn't save it right now, but I know where it is. I have to find it, I think. That was his kid's mother he was trying to meet up with. One of them, oh, okay. So how many baby mamas did he have? Because he killed one of his baby mamas. And from what I know, that his cousin that he murdered, it was her birthday. But you are not the only one that talks about how Reagan administration defunded mental health. We're going to talk about mental health at the end as well. Mental health is so important. If you see signs, don't look away. Don't ignore it. Unnormal behavior when it comes to your friends and family. I know now with the laws, people have to voluntarily get help, but you just put them people on paper. Like he was on paper. This is so sad. You know, there were triggers. He was on Facebook saying goodbye and putting notes. I should have put both videos in here. I don't want to go out and come back in. But he was on Facebook, told his cousin, "I'll see you in hell," before he went to go kill her. Like he was posting on Facebook to the people right before he went to take their life. He was basically bragging about it, and especially when you're dealing with these men, dealing with people and dating with people with mental health situations is scary. It's crazy out here. When people, and as a content creator, it is scary when people get angry with you or act weird. You don't know what the hell they're going to do. And being that we all know, like I have somebody on here that doesn't care for me and that's mentally unwell. I don't think that person is on the verge of that, but you never know what a person will do when they snap. We can't just brush this kind of stuff under the rug. And Black people especially, we don't like to get help, mental health help, therapy, talking to anybody, telling people about our problems is a sign of weakness. It is not a sign of weakness. We don't want to take medications. Do I think medication is the first choice? No, but sometimes you need some help and you have to be medicated to keep you on an even keel. It is not a sign of weakness. Get help. There's a push to use phase brain health instead of mental health to remove the stigma. It's just like caring for one's heart health. It is. Allegedly, he felt with schizophrenia and they wouldn't let him be with the kids he was trying to go see. The cousin and the mom was supposed to be helping him get back on his medication. Well, you can't. This is a thing. You can't make the person take the medication unless they're threatened to hurt a person, right? So at this part, if he threatened to hurt himself or hurt a person, it's too late. And a lot of times it's too late. It's your liberty and your right to take your medicine or not take your medicine. But when you crazy like that and you schizophrenic and those types of things, they should like mandate you to take something or to be constantly getting help or seeing a caseworker or something. I have mental health challenges in my family. Trust and believe that it's hard when a person is unmedicated. So look, we're going to take a commercial break. Okay, that's all of our national news. If I need to do a follow-up, I will. I would like for you to hit the like button, please. Show some respect, show some manners, show some love. Okay, and also if you would like to hit the financials, you can do that too. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Google, Apple Pay, Cash App, or Super Chat. I think I got them all. It would greatly be appreciated. I don't have this commercial on. I didn't put this. Let me see. Is it too late to add it? I guess this is it. Let's see if this is it. It's gonna take forever. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Anyway, you can support the channel that way. Also, hit the like button. I am fundraising. Okay, times is hard. I usually don't ask, but everybody be big and in demand, so why can't I ask too? My goal is $325 within the month because I would like to pay for StreamYard for the entire year, and the channel is not making the money itself. So if you would like to donate to that, I would greatly appreciate it. I hope this is the video, but if you don't, hit that like button. And that is not. So I'll hit this one. I know the right song is not right here. Blah. Or how about I do this? Here we go. Okay, I am back. Did it go? Oh, I'm supposed to be in the newsroom. I'm not in the newsroom. Wait. I done missed. I done fucked up the thing. I'm not in the newsroom anymore. Anywho. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know how to do this anymore. But anywho. Oh, I've been here the whole time, and I just noticed that I was not in the newsroom this whole time. Boom, there we are. I will remember real soon. Anyway, I'm like, why didn't it change? Oh, thank you, Stacy B. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So also, I want to send a shout out to Hikey Mikey. That is the person that made that song. So you can also follow his channel. He came out with some new music a couple weeks ago. I meant to repost it. Hikey Mikey. We all love him here. He posted the other day that he lost his mother to cancer. So, you know, I love me some Mikey. Please reach out to him on his page or go to Instagram. I think he'd be on Twitter a lot. Instagram is where I saw the post. He lost his mom, and just go show him some love if we can. Love you, Mikey. So now we're up to our next to last part of the news, and that is celebrity news. This thing gonna work, right? See, that's why it's a little bit of ratchet. You know, some ghetto shit always got to happen. So this goes by a little bit faster. This first story is, I'm kind of morbid tonight with my stories here. I'm sorry. Is celebrity news. Donald Sutherland, the actor, has passed away. So we're going to hear a little bit about him on the CBS Nightly News.
Hollywood has lost a legend with the death of actor Donald Sutherland at the age of 88. The towering performer starred in a wide range of movies from MASH and Ordinary People to National Lampoon's Animal House and The Hunger Games. Entertainment Tonight's Kevin Frazier takes a look at his remarkable career.
I'm not apologizing. I am trying to goddamn understand it.
Donald Sutherland was no ordinary actor. He was a cinema legend, playing a villain in The Hunger Games.
We've both been played for fools.
And the leading man in Clue.
He didn't take the plane. He canceled out.
Sutherland was versatile. He could play any role. His big break came in 1967 when he starred in the war film The Dirty Dozen.
What do I have to do?
Which he would follow up with another standout performance as Hawkeye Pierce in the 1970 film MASH, which helped catapult him to fame.
I've seen you somewhere before.
Born in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada in 1935, Sutherland says he wasn't interested in acting until he became a teenager.
When I was 16 years old, I'd never seen a play. I said to my dad that I wanted to be an actor.
And he became a great one, with nearly 200 film and TV credits over his 60-year career.
You really do love him, don't you?
Sutherland won an Emmy and a Golden Globe for his role as a Russian colonel in Citizen X.
It will take all our strength to suffer these outrages, but suffer them we must.
And received an honorary Oscar in 2017. Today, his son, actor Kiefer Sutherland, said his father was never daunted by a role, good, bad, or ugly. He loved what he did. And we loved watching him. Kevin Frazier, CBS News, Los Angeles.
I'm on and under.
Hi, I was sitting here trying to multitask and write these messages out. Hey, Drea, I miss you. MASH had my mama and them in a chokehold. They still watch it. You know, I could never get into that damn show. I hated it when it would come on. It probably come on the same time now. It came on channel 32, our favorite channel, 32 Fox, at 10 o'clock after the news. You're like, pew, 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 pew. I don't know, something about when it came on, it annoyed the hell out of me to this day. And I knew it was time to turn the damn channel. But yeah, he was a great actor. Being a child of the theater, you know, there are certain actors that you see through your whole life and that you can model, and he is a great actor. My grandma watched Young and the Restless too. same actors, except for the ones that ain't passed on, still there. And well, I know the show ain't on no more, but you know what I'm saying? They done changed it up and moved them to the other shows and whatnot. So our next one, okay, so when you say black don't crack, now I think this man have got some facelifts or whatever, and I watched Dream Girls for 2 or 3 times this weekend, okay? And I was into it. It made me have a new awakening. I love to sing. Well, let's talk about Eddie Murphy. And he redid Dolomite. I think he has a fierce partnership with Netflix because they keep rebooting some shit. But I'm going to trust him on this because he was in the original movies. We let him redo Coming to America, and you know, it's probably somewhere on any newscast because I don't delete nothing. I don't think I've ever really deleted anything on my channel. He redid Coming to America, and it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be, okay? Probably going to be a Coming to America 3. Who knows? It looks like it to me. But now he has redid Beverly Hills Cop. And when I heard that shit, I was like, I get tired of everything being a reboot. Why can't we come with some original thoughts? But with these trailers, it looks like it might be something good. So I'm looking for my, there we go, my ticker. Okay. I shouldn't get into trouble, but I'm going to use it anyway. This clip is used in fair use to promote the movie and to do a report on the movie Beverly Hills Cop 3. So we are going to watch this little ditty about Beverly Hills Cop.
I'm on and on. You're pissing off a lot of people. That means we're getting close.
I'm sorry if the internet is acting ghetto. It's having a moment. We'll be right back really, really soon when I get off of one dot.
There's no seatbelt in the middle.
What the hell with the seatbelt? We're on the edge.
Is this God's way of helping my fair use?
I love it. I love it. One of the most iconic action series of all time is back. And Fox 32 was the only station in town that got to speak with the entire cast.
I don't even understand why there would be a low signal at 2 o'clock in the morning. This is crazy. And I keep saying I'm going to go to bed at a normal hour so I can get up in the morning at a normal hour. But it ain't been happening. Come on, let me see what I can do. Yes, I'm experiencing interruption. Okay? And I'm going to need y'all to get your life together. Okay? Where are we at 33 seconds? I'm going to take all of us off the screen because look, I'm linked over. Okay? I wasn't even leaned over. I was off camera with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mess up my thing and refresh the screen and see if that works. And I think it might. Because I don't have a lot of stuff open. Okay, let's try it again.
Y'all safe? Everybody safe? There's no seatbelt in the middle.
What the hell with the seatbelt? We're on the edge.
I love it. I love it. One of the most iconic action series of all time is back. And Fox 32 was the only station in town that got to speak with the entire cast. Thank you for doing that, Jay.
You know what? Someone had to do it, my man. I love this movie. You and I were just talking about how we were raised on the original films. Right. Believe it or not, it has been 40 years since that original movie, Beverly Hills Cop, became one of the biggest movies in history. You know, to date, adjusted for inflation, it's still the third highest grossing R-rated movie of all time, behind only The Exorcist and The Godfather.
Wow.
And then Beverly Hills Cop.
Quite a stat.
Exactly. And now Eddie Murphy and the rest of the cast, they're back for a fourth film called Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. I love all of these movies. But apparently I'm the only one who loves all of them because there's multiple jokes in this new one that make fun of the third movie in the series. Beverly Hills Cop 3 was, if I'm going to be honest, this movie right here, a critical and a financial disappointment when it came out in 1994. And the movie kind of stopped the franchise for about 30 years. And actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character in this new movie makes several references to what happened to Axel in 94 and it not being his finest hour. And apparently not only is that a dig at Beverly Hills Cop 3, it was Eddie Murphy's idea.
84, 87, and then 94. But this place has changed a bit.
You have a great line in this film where you tell Eddie that 94 is not your finest hour, which feels a little bit like a dig on Beverly Hills Cop.
It's not a little bit.
Okay, here's the thing. I love Beverly, maybe because I was a kid and I love the theme park angle of it. I love Beverly Hills Cop.
A lot of people do. A lot of people
they're
do.
defenders.
And a lot of people don't.
There are dozens of us.
I'll tell you who doesn't like it. Eddie Murphy.
Okay, I was wondering, what was the vibe? When you have to deliver that line to him, you have to make fun of an Eddie Murphy movie to Eddie Murphy. What's the vibe on set?
Yeah, no, he speaks openly about not liking that movie. And I will openly admit, I have not seen part 3. And when I told him that, he was like, see?
Okay, so that's kind of like you don't do the rewatch. Like I did the rewatch before coming in here.
I did the rewatch, part 1 and part 2.
But you skipped 3?
I did.
All right. You're missing out.
Maybe I gotta go back.
All right, fair enough. I like part 3. We're going to have more from the cast of Beverly Hills Cop Axel F throughout the entire week, including Kevin Bacon, who is sitting right next to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And yes, we got Eddie Murphy himself. The movie starts streaming on Netflix next week on July 3rd. I love this movie.
So do we need to see all 3 to see 4?
Really.
Or you just stick to the first 2? Because there's only dozens of them.
Yeah, exactly. In any case, there are always references to things that, like, if you miss it, it's for people who know. But if you don't know, I mean, if it's your first time seeing the series, you could start with 4 and you would be just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I love me some white boy Jake too. Okay. He's a great commentator. Put a 1 in the chat if you plan on watching. We all play for Netflix or got somebody we share Netflix with. So let me know if you plan on seeing it. I would watch it. I actually like Beverly Hills Cop 3. But the fact that he said 40 years since the first one came out, like, that's my whole life, G. And them people wasn't even born yet when the first Beverly Hills Cop came out. Like, geez. It's a long time, okay? But nevertheless, it looked like it might be good. Eddie Murphy's been doing good, even though we've been doubting him again on these remakes, but he's been doing pretty good. So our next story is another story about death. Sorry. I didn't realize I was putting so much in there. His name is Shifty Shell. Shifty Shell. Let me put my news voice on. Singer and I can't even get it out. Lead singer of the band Crazy Town is passed away at the age of 49. His name is Shifty Shellshot. I can fuck it. I'm sorry. Here you go. Oh, here we go with this foolishness again. The internet.
Come
my lady, come, my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar, baby.
That is the 2000 hit Butterfly by the band Crazy Town. Today we learned that its lead singer, Shifty Shellshock, has died at the age of 49. Shellshock, whose real name was Seth Binzer, passed away at his home on Monday. Binzer previously spoke publicly about his struggles with addiction. No cause of death has been released.
There's been an update.
I done muted myself. Back then, you knew all them people was on drugs. You could see them on drugs, like, right? You know, they look like they was on drugs, all hungry and dirty and whatnot. They did higher class drugs. So they do like regular crack and whatever. They did cocaine. Still better than that. Shifty Shells. It's like Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. How many packs of how many packs of pickled peppers would Peter pick? Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Maybe I'm tired. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Shifty shell shot. I can't get it. I just want to say at least one time. Shifty shells. Shifty shell shock. Shell shock. Shifty shell shock. The lead singer of Crazy Town has passed away. Yay! Okay, I did it. Give me a cookie, okay? I got some Frankos left on my dresser. I'm gonna go take one. Okay, so that is. Oh wait, we got one more story. This story I'm gonna have to read to you. I don't have it up. Shame on me. This story is about Kenya Moore being fired. Okay, I didn't want to read that one. I knew who I wanted to read. And the shit is not up. Oh, there it is. Kenya Moore is reportedly fired from the Housewives. Hey, girl, I need to call you. I've been thinking about you, but every time I want to call you, you lie. Okay? She's been fired. She won't be coming. Well, they're saying fired, but, you know, different people use a different verbiage. She won't be coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta until further notice. They're just going to stop filming. They're saying the door is always open for Kenya to come back. But right now, with the issues that are going on, she will not be coming back to Aurora. Yeah, I'm tired. Aurora. You was waiting on this one. Aurora for the remainder of the season. Okay. Okay. Now let me put my reporter's voice on. Kenya Moore has been fired from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. According to our sources, not only has Kenya been barred from filming for the rest of the season, but the network is figuring out how to cut her from what's been filmed already so that she doesn't appear in season 16 at all. Contrary to other reports, sources exclusively tell us that there have been no talks between Kenya and the network about her returning for future seasons or other projects, and there won't be. Her firing comes after she allegedly posted a sexually explicit images of newbie Brittany Edie performing oral sex at her hair salon opening event. We're told the moment was so shocking that the entire cast walked out as it unfolded, except for Drew Sidora. With Kenya out, the network's plan for her and Portia to anchor the newbies has been completely ruined. The doors opened for other former cast members like Sheree Whitfield and Phaedra Parks to return full-time to help finish out the season, but that hasn't been discussed at this time. Phaedra's name, however, has been floated a few times about joining the girls on their upcoming international trip. Cynthia Bailey, who's currently filming as a friend, is also being considered for promotion, but it's unclear if she'll take it. The only thing that's certain at this point is that Miss Moore is out and won't be back. Now, I saw this earlier. Kenya took to social media to thank her fans for their support. Team Twirl forever. You are the best fans anyone could ever ask for, and I love you all so very much, always and forever. Kenya. So, child, I didn't know it was that bad. That is foul to do that. I think, of all of the stunts and shows that Kenya has done over the years, I would not think that she would declass her own event for the sake of ratings. I could see if she was with the girlfriends on the show, I'm like, girl, yeah, she's, a pipe sucker, you know what I'm saying? She's a mouth diva. But at your event to show everybody, that's a lot. Oh, you must have been on double time, Saki. She said, I finally caught up. I love MASH. To this day. I was 15 when the first Beverly Hills Cop came out. Shifty Shell Shock was the Shiznai E, and he will be missed right along with Donald Sutherland. Yes. My girl is friends with Kenya. It is a mess. I think Kenya is going to sue them because no one had evidence. And that is fact. They said it was rumored that she is looking into litigation about this situation. Who knows? Only time will tell. It's not a good look either way it goes. And I'm sure there's more than what meets the eye with this. It's a lot that probably hasn't been said or done. So, yeah. Well, of course, she would bring shame on her own event. She did to Marlo, who has tried to do it to her. Well, I mean, she do it to them. You don't do it to you. Like nobody's done that big of a thing to her. Not with her daughter. That is a thing they're saying. Well, the daughter was in the back, possibly. Yeah, it's just so many questions. But the fact remains that Kenya has been a problematic presence on the show since she showed up with Walter, the tow truck driver. But I might find some time to do a little documentary of Team Twirl. Shouts out to Team Twirl. Shouts out to Kenya. Oh, my eyes look so dark. Jesus Christ, why y'all didn't tell me that? It looked like I got makeup on. They so dark. I need to get some rest. My schedule's been a mess. And lighten myself up. Ain't nothing but a good moisturizer facial. Can't cure because I don't have like dark circles on a natural. Okay, but what am I trying to do? Okay, we're going to the next story. So that is the end of entertainment news. Okay, that's what I got for you. Okay. And guess what? Team Twirl is full of misguided women, just like Kenya. They think our antics are okay. And that's it. Here we go. We're about to get into it. I think I might have to do a separate video on Kenya when I get a chance. And the last part of our news is YouTube news. Okay, so we're going to talk about two things. I didn't put one on the title track. I need to finish this video. Its interview is 4 hours, 5 hours. And I came in on like hour 4 or something like that, the last hour. I previously did a video, pre-recorded video. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it, about Aaron, the Ninja Turtle plumber, also known as Weapon X. I posted the videos from his ex-girlfriend on TikTok. Watch Who You Date. And I probably need to find some other women on TikTok who has discussed him, or Instagram, who have problems with this man. Again, this is about a 30-minute video. He previously appeared on the Pop the Balloon show here on YouTube. They called him sassy. Then he reported on the internet, and it was quoted by the Neighborhood Talk, picked up by the Neighborhood Talk, saying that he lost his job because of clout chasing people. And he was a plumber. And y'all took that away from him. And you called the company that he worked at 500 times. Do I believe anybody needs to lose their job over petty stuff on the internet? No, something like that, no. But my question always is how the fuck they know where he work at for 500 people to call? Of all the antics I've seen over here on this sector of YouTube, only a certain amount of people are going to actually call. He didn't do anything on there at the time to make you lose his job. But in that 5-hour video, and like, he needs a whole video on himself. I'm going to uncover so many things. I saw him backpedaling and pussy popping. Okay. I'm going to chop up this video here. So the night after he did this video, some things came to be, because he also, even though he said on the video, I can pull out $100,000 out my bank account right now, he has a GoFundMe out. So somebody lied. Okay. Somebody is lying. I wonder who. And this
There's been an update, a major update, a serious update in the story regarding the Pop the Balloon guy. After I asked him to provide receipts to prove that he lost his job, he got mad at me. And I'm going to show you that. Before that, let's get into his GoFundMe. Now, mind you, this GoFundMe is how I came across this story. The Pop the Balloon story is something that happened a couple of weeks ago. What made it viral was him informing people on his Instagram, him uploading this GoFundMe saying that he was fired from his workplace because of 500 people called in because they were mad at the results of the show. They were mad at his demeanor on the show. You can see right here, right in the GoFundMe, it says, I was fired from work today due to these videos.
Now look, he's asking for $15,000. And these red pill niggas, and I'm trying not to use that word on here, but these red pill dudes, I've given him $13,998. I'm trying to make $300. You see how it's the funny thing about this. These people will support liars in a minute, okay? And anybody in this sector will know they sure do. Liars and scammers get all the monies in the support, okay? 460 donations. I remember I put up a GoFundMe for the children a couple of years ago. And one of my people on Facebook told me, you better tell them kids to go out there on the street and beg like the rest of them. But yet we have a scammer here. A scammer who said I could pull out $100,000 out of my account. And the next day he's got a $15,000 GoFundMe to say he lost his job. He's a plumber. As far as I'm concerned, you're never going to lose your job. You just lost the place that you work. Excuse me. He has an email that he put up, and it's called Master Plumber. If you got tenured to be a master plumber, you got some side gigs. You got somewhere that you could work at. Like, you could always find a motherfucking job. It's shit like this on the back page. Like, somebody always need a plumber. Or you better learn how to lay some pipe, sir. Okay? But that's probably the problem. That's why you out here bad now. So, but also, he mixed this in so that you can stay in this lame locale. He snuck this in that, you know, not only that, and he said on the interview, and then all of this, should put the link in the chat too, in the description box. This young man over here in the corner. Where's my camera? Oh, it goes off camera. But over there, that's MTR. That's his channel. This is his channel. And the 5-hour interview. I don't know if you can just see it off the cuff now, but I can see it because I watched it. His name is Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, and they call him MTR. And so I discovered him while I was cleaning up this room, which I still have not finished cleaning and rearranging. Y'all would say I was dirty if you looked at the room, but I am rearranging and straightening up right now in my spare time, in my downtime. So he got an interview. Weapon X did several interviews, and so now he's saying that he needs some of this money for his bills because he was fired, and the rest is for his humanitarian work and his philanthropy, and so that he can help the homeless baby mamas, which the real people don't like baby mamas at all. The veterans, single mamas, single fathers, you know, and he gives food and blankets to the people and the homeless and whatever. And he's a helper of humanity. And he needs your GoFundMe to do that. And so also he let us know that since we fucked up his plumbing gig, that he needs money for equipment so that he can become a content creator. How convenient.
Today was honestly the first time that I cried in a while. Getting my license in plumbing was the biggest life accomplishment. It took years of hard work, studying, and praying. And then he also added some things in here about who he provides free plumbing services to. And then he goes to say what he's going to do with the funds. He's saying humanitarian work. And then maybe he wants to become a content creator because now his ability to work is compromised. After I got wind of this, I did an initial reaction to it where I focused on the basic premise of, was his behavior on the show indicative of them getting fired? But again, I would have not known about this unless he told people and convinced us all that he got fired. But because, and I've said this multiple times before on multiple different videos, including the live streams that I did, because he has not showed hard receipts or proof of being fired, I never told anybody to go and donate to the young brother. So I tried to reach out to this brother because I wanted to receive proof.
So during the live, he asked the guy about the job. Like, you could tell this nigga was lying. Oh, sorry. You could tell his brother was lying in the beginning because he said, I got fired from my job. You took that away from me. He did ask him about his job, and the guy said, Mr. Aaron, he says, well, we're in negotiations right now. The people have been scared away by all of the stuff and the people calling, but we're in negotiations right now. I will have proof of me being fired in a couple of days. So people's like, well, why you ain't applying for unemployment? Fool. Like, it was, yeah. We knew he was lying in.
of that he was let go and the reason that he was let go. And because he was unable to reach out to me in the time that I reached out to him, I'm not going to leave a link to this in the description, but you guys saw his Instagram handle. If you want to go over there, take a look at his page and support him, that's 100% on you. It's just for me personally, in order to be able to link and to promote a GoFundMe, I have to see hard proof. I for damn sure don't want to be on the receiving end.
Now, he did share the GoFundMe on the interview. Okay. So I'm going to fast forward. He said, don't just play his video, but he did give us permission to play his video.
Fund me, and she's allegedly a liar. She's right.
Okay, so they were talking about Brickface. He told him, like, you know, we want to talk about it because, you know, Brickface, if you're familiar with a few months ago or the end of last year, the girl did the video and she did a whole stunt and was like somebody, she rejected the man for trying to holler at her, and he hit her in the face with a brick in terms of that she's a girl that does stunts and shows and to try to get GoFundMe money. So a lot of people were supporting her initially, and she was a liar, and he didn't want that to happen again, but pretty much it's happened again.
Or negotiating.
We go.
What's today? Friday.
Liar. She's right. She's facing a felony count for lying right now. Do you have any proof to demonstrate fired?
Yes. Now,
wait a minute. I see the House of the Princess face up there in the corner. What the fuck was I saying? He's a liar. Let me back it up. Let me see.
Let go. And I'm asking because we've been.
Okay. Oh, I said they were arguing in chat that, you know, black women are terrible. I said, how are you blaming black women when he dates Latinos? So they were saying black women are the degradation of him.
Scammed in the past. There's been people in the past that have Brickface. I just keep talking about her. Set up GoFundMe, and she's allegedly a liar. She's right. She's facing a felony count for lying right now. Do you have any proof to demonstrate fired?
Yes. Now, I will have some. Give me a few more days. What's today? Friday? Yeah, give me a few days sometime next week because we are negotiating.
With GoFundMe? Oh,
we are talking about the balloon popping dude. That's him down there in the corner. But I'm using a video of another content creator that did the interview. What he's saying is he's comparing him to the girl who did the brick face video because they're both liars, scammers for the GoFundMe. But yes, we're talking about dude from Aaron, aka Weapon X, aka Ninja Turtle from Pop the Balloon.
Negotiating with the workplace.
Yes. Negotiations are being made because they see the social media attention and they are frightened. So
okay.
That's all I can say is say that much.
Okay, well, when you get that update, let me know, and I'll do everything in my power to make sure that my audience knows as well as within the GoFundMe. I think you can update it and you can show other pictures or proof or something like that. But I know that that's a concern for folks as well. What I've come to find out is that there were so many.
He was a liar. If you fired, you fired. What the fuck you mean?
Lies told to me, but this guy had everybody convinced that he got fired, right? Well, in an attempt to continue to support the young brother, I actually talked to him this morning and asked him, when are you going to provide us a receipt? Because I'd love to be able to show. And I think the quicker that you provide receipts, the quicker that GoFundMe, who has locked his account, he is unable to get this money out of his account right now, would open it. In fact, let's go through the DM conversations right now. So yesterday, last night, Sunday at 9:02 p.m., he called me out of nowhere. I missed that call. Notifications on my Instagram are obviously off. I only see things when I actually check my Instagram. He called me. I didn't see it. He said, damn, bro, that's crazy, man. You got me looking insane now and painted me out the wrong way. And I'm thinking to myself, when I finally saw this, I'm like, what are you?
Nobody painted him no motherfucking way. This is shit he did himself. I'm not going to go deep into all this, but yeah, I'm doing another video on this guy.
Talking about, what do you mean painted you out the wrong way? I've been going above and beyond to let you recount your story. I hold you accountable when you say weird things like tracking the woman in the car, or, you know, when you're throwing money in the club. We have these conversations, but what you tell to me is you're trying to be better. These are in private conversations. You're trying to be better. You're trying to learn. You're looking for advice. You're looking for mentorship. For you, that conversation that I had with her right now. All right, so I got
I'm fast forwarding because this
yesterday, the Abba and Preach response live stream, and she super chatted.
Okay, also I want to say specifically in the 5-hour live, MTR asked me, he was like, would you like to take questions from the audience? And he took a few, but he specifically said, don't let them two dudes that was on there come out. And they were like, who? And the people in the audience was like, Abba and Preach. Whatever they said in their live, which I have to make time to watch, apparently they were against his ass in the beginning, called his ass out, and he did not want to be confronted with the facts and what they had to say. He specifically said, do not bring Abba and Preach up. So there's a woman that they talked to, the queen of accountability. I love this. She did the background check fully on his ass. And I watched a young girl named Deani last night talking about this shit. That's how I saw the new video. Yeah, they got him.
That she was going to do additional work to understand the validity of his claims. And I want to play for you that conversation that I had with her right now. All right, so I got the queen of accountability here, who's done a lot more investigative work into what we have right here. So I wanted to bring her up and to have a discussion regarding the things that she's found. But first and foremost, I'm hurt regarding this. like, you know, to trust somebody based off of them telling you that, hey, this happened to me post the pop the balloon experiment, discussion, whatever you want to call it, game show. And then to go back and be asking him questions, act that way. I'm just like, man, it's just pointing in a direction that it may not be true. So queen of accountability, I wanted to bring you up here and let's just chat about other things that you might have found.
Wonderful. Sounds good to me. And thanks for having me, MTR.
No worries.
So I know that this man has been going viral all over social media, and everyone heard this story about him getting fired after doing the dating show, that they felt inclined to donate money and continue to make him more viral than he was at the moment. Mm-hmm. I did not talk about it initially, because I wanted to investigate before I started to support someone who's telling us a story that is so believable that you want to donate. So what I first did, MTR, is when he created the GoFundMe a week ago, I looked at the GoFundMe and he emphasized that he does humanitarian efforts to single mothers, fathers, veterans, disabled. And, it didn't sit right. He bolded only that part, because when you're reading the whole paragraph, you're inclined to go right to the bolded part. This man is helping out veterans and people that need his help. And so I need to donate. And I just felt like that kind of reminded me of Rhoda Osmond. I said, maybe they're related. Maybe this is her cousin, because this is so believable. So I did my research. When I went to Aaron's Facebook, I noticed that everything on his Facebook was about him, his body, working out, doing pull-ups, sit-ups, doing push-ups. Other or disabled person would have said, hey, this man helped us in our time of need. But I didn't see not one receipt. So we know that a lot of his exes came out and they gave us a little bit of tea, and that helped me to do more research on him. When I did a check on Mr. Sloan, I didn't see a license on file that connected to his information. And being in education over 11 years, we know all about education. It's linked to your social. If you got a license, if you got a degree, it's going to pull up in any background check. Don't see one for Mr. Sloan. Never even saw a
So she checked the background of him being a plumber. His name is Aaron Sloan. Yeah, I doxed him. She doxed him. She went to go check and see his plumber's license. She's saying that they don't see one for him. She went to check and the place where he worked at, or where they thought that he worked at. No, she said the same thing I said. How did they find out where you're working? And the place that he has suggestively listed, they don't know him.
You're saying if you're certified, it's easy to find these things. It's like probably like a database that you can go into to assure that he's certified. Is that what you mean?
That is correct, MTR. Like if I wanted someone to do a facial, I'm gonna go to a licensed esthetician.
Right.
But before I get her services, I'm gonna verify that she does have an active license in that state. Anytime you sit for a license or you sit for any exam, it's gonna be public record. I just didn't see one for him.
And now, did you not see one at all, or did you not see one that was currently active?
I did not see one at all. What I did see was that he did work for a LLC. When I looked at LLC up in Arizona, the person that owns the LLC is in foreclosure right now. So I thought that was odd that they had time to hire Mr. Sloan when they're losing their house. But then I did more investigative work, and I contacted a place that had the same name in California. And Hector said he never heard of him. Hector. So that's 2 jobs that I ever heard of him. And that was the only job that was related to this man's information. What I did find was over 30 cases across many states. We're talking about Nevada, California, Texas, Oklahoma. He's internationally known, but not for any positive reasons. So it made me believe that he did not get fired. If any, I would say that Mr. Sloan was into fitness, and that was his job. He just didn't want to embarrass himself after telling those ladies he could pull $100 grand out of the bank. So he knew saying that he got fired would play on everyone's heartstrings like it did, and people were going to donate. When I first saw the GoFundMe after someone put me on it and I read it, I recorded it. I actually sent it to a GoFundMe contact that helped me with the roller case. So I know for sure people are going to get their money back because he won't be able to provide the documents. Another thing I did, MTR, just for backup, I contacted one of my people in Arizona who work for the state in unemployment. And I just wanted to see if there was any claims for this individual. No claims have been filed yet, and it's been a week.
For unemployment.
For unemployment, sir, yes. If you get fired, you want to file that claim right away because there's a 30-day waiting period. He hasn't done it. Why? Because he's in the club throwing money. He's doing everything other than what he said he was going to do. Also, 6 days ago on his Facebook, he told everyone he's working with at-risk youth. That's his humanitarian work. But what happened to the banks and the single mothers and fathers and disabled? So now he is working with risk youth. So he went from all these different things to now he's saying he works with kids, which I find odd, being a felon and being wanted in a couple of those states. I don't think they would let him work with kids.
Yeah, and this is currently wanted, right? Because when I talked to him, right, the story that I had in my head, and I talked to him, I did a 5-hour stream with him, and even though I never told anybody to go up to the GoFundMe, in fact, during that stream, I said, you need to provide the evidence. You need to show us the paperwork, right? You need to show us, because without that, this is just a story. It could just be a fabrication. Oh yeah, no, I get to it, this, that, and the third, right? So even with that being said, right, and even looking up some of the court cases and warrants that he might still have active, and there's some other things that he did not disclose or talk about. Like one of the things I talked about was, he was talking about, if I was stalking women, if I was this abusive person, then where's the police reports? Where's this? But there's actually some police reports that have to do harm against women. And I don't want to get too much on the police reports and stuff like that. Actually, I wanted to direct my audience to your live stream that you're going to have later on this week to kind of go over all of that stuff. But specifically as it refers to maybe not even having a job to lose at the time of being right after the Pop the Balloon and fabricating that for a story. That's really where I wanted to focus in right now, because that's how I know about him. The Pop the Balloons thing happened 4 weeks ago or something like that. I didn't know anything about it until it was him losing his job. Then I saw this dissenting views regarding him, and then I had a conversation with him, holding him accountable at different times that I thought things just didn't make sense. Absolutely. Never advocating for the GoFundMe, right? Saying you need to provide evidence, but then it's coming out right now that when I ask him directly, hey, can you send me what is the name of the place that you work? Now he needs to go get a lawyer. Okay, what's your license number? Now he needs to go get a number, right? And it's odd how that is happening now. He's okay to go live and talk all these things in order to clear his name when I ask these questions to prove and provide data or receipts, because he fooled the whole country. He fooled the whole country. Like he fooled people who went and paid within the GoFundMe. But everybody who's reviewing the story is saying it's messed up that he got fired. It's messed up. But the assumption was that he wouldn't be lying to that extent, that perhaps it's not true.
So MTR, I agree with everything you said. And one thing about the internet, if you truly got fired and they called this company 500 times, that would mean they knew the company's information.
Yeah.
May I ask you a question? Have you seen the name of this company floating around, sir?
Nope. Sorry, you can't see me. I'm shaking my head.
Same question I
asked. So he hasn't told me the name of a company. I've seen a name floating around, but it's the same name that you called, and you said that they don't know who he is.
Correct. And not only that, when I went to the reviews, typically when a plumber comes to your place and they give you, kudos, they say your name. In California, Hector is the main plumber that's under that name of the company, but it's actually an LLC that's under parents' information. And the LLC it goes all the way back to Yavapai, which is Arizona. And when I reached out to the owner of the LLC, he did not know an Aaron. So all I'm saying, even if they're lying to us saying that they don't know, but it's true, he wouldn't have any problem showing you. You're not
right. It should be easy.
This is going to help him continue his journey of healing.
Yeah, if he just shows it, the GoFundMes will go crazy. But people are not donating because, I was telling people, wait for the paperwork to come out, right? So if he was to provide that, and it would go more towards his efforts. But he's all of a sudden now I'm the enemy for him. All of a sudden he's upset at me because I asked simple information that he should be more than willing. I'm more than willing to sit down for a 5-hour conversation about who he is, his particular story. Why not show the evidence to prove that you did not set up this GoFundMe fraudulently, utilizing wrong information to pull at the heartstrings of people in order to get donations and increase donations?
MTR, something else that I noticed is the picture he's using. That picture is nowhere on any of his social medias. And what bothers me is that besides that picture, what else is the proof that he's a master plumber? Because he's using a Yahoo that does not link back to anybody's information. Sounds like he just created the master plumber 209 at Yahoo email to kind of corroborate this plumber story. But when you look at his social medias, I will see a video of him fixing a sink, laying down pipe, shaking someone's hand, saluting a veteran. There's nothing. And for someone that's been living and sleeping and eating and breathing plumbing, it'll be everywhere. All I see is him shaking his pectoral muscles and acting a damn fool. What I want you to know is that I was never convinced of his story. I felt like this was Rhoda 2.0. He's worse than Rhoda. And those police reports, I have over 30 that were sent to me. And I will expose that on Wednesday. I'm going to show everyone. And I did contact a couple of those policemen who are looking for Mr. Sloan. So while he's out here throwing money in the club, bring your ass out to Elk Grove, Mr. Sloan, and stop avoiding what you did. I saw it, man. You're not slick. You won't get back.
Okay, that's all of that I'm going to play because it's really, really late anyway. But again, I will be doing a full story on this. Her video, Queen of Accountability, I'm going to look for it. Allegedly, it's going to come out tomorrow evening. 30 cases against him across the United States. He is possibly in violation of his probation. He did that 5-hour live, and those men, and see, you know, I always question these men that think they're so much better. They was get you a passport, bro. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, we didn't want his ass. No way. Yes, get you a passport. Get the fuck on, because we're not gonna miss you, boo. We're not. It's nothing that we want. I wonder what some of them are saying now. He saying low value women. And I'm like, you have to have some value to devalue someone else. And, you know, I don't want any promiscuous women and, you know, promiscuous and, you know, they using me and, you know, this woman. I'm like, I didn't hear the whole story, but he sounded like he didn't get no coochie a lot when he was younger. And then he got the one girl and she cheated on him. You know, he sounds very hotepian. And we don't want you, sir. And it's okay. Go away. So, like I said, that's a whole different video. And that was Samuel Freak. Who is that? I'm going to have to look that up. That is the MTR channel, mediocre tutorials and reviews. And that was the Queen of Accountability. I kind of like her. She's doing research like that. I'm here for it. So yes, he has he got on that platform talking about I ain't did nothing to nobody. And I was like, but this woman is saying that you're willfully you have stalked her. And the fact that they thought the behavior, like they shared shared the location, and he admitted to coming up to that. I did it one time, coming up to that girl's job, and he said he didn't want any promiscuous women, but he moved into this woman's house after a couple of weeks, and she got kids. Like, that's the epitome of promiscuity, and devalued her, and saying that she was making promiscuous. That's his favorite word, promiscuous content on the internet. Well, she was doing that shit before you went out there to stay in her house with your homosexual ass. Like, it's just so much. Women are always the problem. Okay, we're always the problem. So there are multiple women that say he's done crimes against Kevin Samuels. He wasn't all the way, but it was the Kevin Samuels people. Okay, they was in there deep. And so they were quoting Kevin Samuels and all that shit while it was going on. But he is not the dude that Kevin Samuels would promote. He is, in fact, a beta male. He's less than a Henry. He's done a bid. He got all this shit going on. He want to tell some women, you not qualified. No, motherfucker, you not qualified. But that's all I have to say about that today. Our last story is super late. I called myself was gonna make this one shorter, but I knew it wasn't. Well, all the stories that I wrote down, but I guess since I haven't done this in so long, you deserve it. Our last YouTube story is about. That's my production assistant. The Wiley Show. I was trying not to call him what I've been calling him. The Wiley Show. What's his name? Marquise Wiley, a native of Chicago, currently living in Dallas and or Las Vegas. He is a YouTuber that was for a short time a protege of Tasha K. He's always going at it with her and Armand Wiggins, Storm Monroe, and he does celebrity tea and black tea, and he came from the beef sector. He's one of the forefathers of the beef sector. I found out today that somebody said that he admitted to being diagnosed with schizophrenia. And I kept saying deep down in my heart that I felt like it was something more going on with him than what we know about. Oh, you ain't no good. You made me lose my thought. The Wiley show has been known for being bipolar. And during a manic episode years ago, I'm sorry. He ran butt naked into a Dallas library and knocked down books. That was my introduction to Wiley. When he tried to drag me and my friends over there all about the tea when it fell apart. Is the panel. He has been up for, well, I don't know if he's up today because he ain't been on YouTube. But last week he definitely was up for 5 days straight doing long lives. He did 11-hour live and then went down for a couple hours and did 6-hour live. Down for an hour and did another 6-hour live. And he was just live for a really, really long time. And then on Station Ahead, people were trying to do wellness checks. He blocked his mods. They said he blocked 300 people in the chat. Blocked all his mods. During that time, he said that everybody was against him. And they are part of the troll farm, which has been sent by Armand Wiggins. Their people are AI. And they were calling him on his chat line and he didn't want to answer the phone half the time, saying that the phone was taken over by the government and AI. And, the people in the chat were bots, and it's only a certain way that he could find out if they were robots or not. Apparently, Couture Bay is another content creator that's a fan. Wiley. She's been trying to reach him. I didn't watch all of this. I just can't. I can only watch so much. I'm not a fan of his, but I did go get a looky-loo even before it was really bad, because I just seen stuff that was weird. He cursed out her mother, cursed out Couture Bay. I've heard him, he's calling everybody whores and bitches. Coons. He's really used that word a whole lot. Coons. Democrats are coons. Go Republicans. Go Trump. All kind of controversial stuff. Called the vice president of the United States a whore and a bitch. What else? They said that, he's been crying and snot. I'm not playing none of that shit. But they got other videos. I'm just not playing any of it. Excuse me. I heard him dox his family in Chicago and say horrible things about his uncle and his grandfather and dad, and he's going to be the pastor of the church down here. And the addresses, he's spitting off addresses like, water. And I'm thinking of the addresses. I'm like, those are legit addresses. Those are legit people he's giving out. Perhaps he got some things correct. He was doxing the addresses and phone numbers allegedly of his family members in Chicago, and saying how terrible they were. It was basically a fuck fest, a fuck everybody fest. The police came a couple of times over a couple of days. One time he called the police. He straightens up for the police, but it's really sad to see him spin out of control. Now, have we verified that he's homeless? He did do a stunt talking about he ain't got no lights. I'm like, how you got internet? Ain't got no lights. So, there's that. He's begging for money. He says he ain't got no money. He got paid on the 21st. I just don't know. He was supposed to be moving to Vegas. He's back in Dallas. It's a clusterfuck. And a lot of people are taking this time to curse him out. And curse him out based on the things he said. I know Storm and Roll Tag that ass. But is this really the time? It's like, it's no fun to roast and gag with a person that's not in their best to roast and gag with. It's just not right. He's out there bad. He's out there bad. And I just wanted to remark on that. He needs help. But, again, when we talked about this mental health stuff early in the show, you literally have to want to get help. Unless you talk about harming yourself or harming others, they won't do anything to you. Now, apparently he was out there walking at the airport and he don't have no plane ticket. He was trying to get one, or the people was going to pay for him a Spirit flight over to Las Vegas, and he tried to get into somebody's car. When the woman's daddy was about to whoop his ass. He's out there bad. He's out there bad. Manic off his meds, but allegedly he's been off of his meds for a long time. A whole year. Supposed to get evicted, but I think it's a cash app grab personally, since he admitted to drone. Yeah, I don't think he get evicted. Absolutely not a good time to be speaking ill of the man. Regardless of what he's done, he definitely needs help, and it's not a joking matter. Look, sorry, if you see his ass on the news, let us know. Yeah, he's out there at the airport. He's doing some extra shit. And that's why I said initially in the beginning when he started acting weird like that, I'm like, some of his behavior, I ain't no doctor, but I know crazy people when I see them because I've been around their asses enough. What he was doing is more than being manic and bipolar. He's doing some real crazy shit. And he's talking really, really crazy. And he, I'm like, he's got to have a dual diagnosis or not being diagnosed. And I read someone today, he said he was diagnosed with schizophrenia as well. So, yeah, I could see the schizoid stuff. Cause some of that stuff don't have nothing to do with just being on a high. That nigga, you crazy. And the shit he was saying, just listen to what he was saying and how some people's robots, you got a robot side. He sounded a little bit like Orlando Brown. He was talking crazy than motherfucker. But I'm waiting for my TV screen to come back on. Because that's weird. I can't change it from here. Give me 1 second. I'll listen to this music for 2 seconds. We are almost done. Where's my mouse? Whoop. I'm sorry I played that song, y'all. Some of y'all hate that song because that's Sweet Pea song. Okay, I had to make sure of something because it's some crazy shit. Yes, bipolar disorder and schizophrenia like Jack. So that was the last story, but it's not the last story. I'm almost done. We're about to be out of here. I see that I skipped the story, and I do want to double back on this. Okay. And this will be the one that it was a celebrity news. And this one, excuse me, I want to talk about on the way out. This is about your beloved Elon Musk, the proprietor of Twitter X, okay? And this is a story I would like to read for you. So let me put my news reporter voice back on. I just clicked on one. And it just so happened to be that one. I'm going to pull something from Epidemic Sounds just so I know it's just mine, okay? At least on the channel. And this is via The Cut. It seems Nick Cannon isn't the only famous rich man on a mission to keep populating the earth. Bloomberg reports that earlier this year, Elon Musk and Neuralink executive Siobhan Zilis welcomed their third child together, making Musk a father of at least 12. Musk told Page 6 that although the public is just now finding out about the baby, whose name and gender isn't known, the child was not secretly fathered. He said, all of our friends and family know. Failure to issue a press release, which would be bizarre, does not mean secret. The billionaire has 5 children with Justine Wilson, whom he was married to from 2000 to 2008. Musk and Wilson's son, Nevada, died of a sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, at the age of 10 weeks in 2002. Musk and ex-girlfriend Grimes welcomed son she ecstasy fuck. Seven. Oh, X plus 2 is 12. But that's lowercase I. So ecstasy, whatever the fuck his name is. In 2020, their daughter, Exa Dark Sidrell, who goes by Y. Yeah, Y. This is Y. Y was born via surrogate the following year. In early 2022, Grimes said the two had broken up, but she later had confirmed that they had another son, Techno. Only rich motherfuckers get with these dumbass names. The nature of Musk's relationship with Zilis is not entirely clear, though they had twins Strider and Azure in November 2021. In later Isaacson's 2022 biography of Musk, Zilis revealed that he wants smart people to have kids. And he offered to be her sperm donor so that the kids would be genetically his. And that tracks with Musk's now infamous pro-natalist tweet that a collapsing birth rate is the biggest danger civilization faces by far. A belated Happy Father's Day to Musk. Maybe Cannon has some tips for keeping in touch with his growing brood. I'm just going to ask this. Is Elon Musk just as much as a piece of shit that you guys say that Nick Cannon is for his 11 living children. Because it's like the kind of like the same thing, because he doubled back. If he had well, if he's with the girl Zillis and just had a baby with her, but had a baby with Grimes the year before. But these is, hold on, 3. Wait. He was married to her in 3. Oh, he has 5. Okay, 5 with her. And then 3, that's 8. And then 3 with her, that's 12. Minus 1, passed away. That's 11. So Nick Cannon got 4 baby mamas, like 3 or 4. He just rotates back and forth between them, except for Mariah ain't fucking. But the other 3, like all of his babies is the same baby mamas. So what's the difference? I just want to leave it at Musk only believes populating the world with white intelligence. Yeah, fuck him. Will I ever make it to mainstream TV? The world will never. So this was a long live. I'll probably break it up in pieces when I get some time and shorten it up. I thank you guys. Even though this is late, it's not the biggest audience. It's not 100, 200, 400, 500. One day it will be back to that. But it is extremely late. It's 4 in the morning on the East Coast, 3 in the morning in Central. It's kind of okay. It's just late night on the West Coast. But somehow I appreciate all of you. 16, well, I got up to like 20, something like that during the live. All of you guys that have held on with me and that have stuck with me, and all of you guys that are going to watch the replay when you wake up and you decided to spend your time with me. I appreciate you so much. Again, this is Princess A.V. That's how you contact me. That's how you donate, all that stuff. Follow me on the Instagrams. Also, I'm going to go back to posting more on my PR 613 page. And I also need people to who want to be content creators without like the face, so that you can be able to be a poster for me. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen. The post, little, just like the neighborhood talk, little blurbs and stuff like that on my channel. The one you on the being so debonair channel. Hold on. A matter of fact, I probably could link it to the end of this video at some point so that it can just go straight there. Hold up. Being so debonair wants you to watch his videos. So debonair, and please go subscribe to him. Go subscribe to him. Yeah, this is new. Is there a new book? Yeah, I haven't watched this yet. So copy. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Follow and subscribe that channel. That is in the chat there in YouTube. So please go check out the video by being so debonair. That's the boo thing. Okay, he has multiple channels as well. Follow them all. Okay. Some of y'all recently was asking where he at. Well, there he is. Okay. And a live stream for people to watch. Redirect. I don't think I can I think I tried to do this before, and what's the channel being so that I couldn't do it. I'm gonna try it one time because your stuff was like private or something. So did there. Yeah, it says I can't redirect it for some reason, like your shit is privatized or something like that. And I can't redirect it. It's kind of weird. I don't know. But I'll figure that out. Maybe it has to be my view, but I can't even like find anything from your channel. It will not come up. Am I subscribed like I'm supposed to be? Yes. So I don't know. It won't never let me tag your video and redirect your video. I don't know if you have like a setting or something on there, but I can't find it. So, but anywho, I love you anyway, and it is in the chat, and it will be on the replay. Let me see if I can add you, and then I'll put it on my community wall. Also, I'm gonna put on my community wall. Well, one is on my community wall. I have other channels. I have a DIY channel. Oh, I thought I saw it. Anyway, I have a DIY channel. I need you guys to follow ASMR channel. I'm going to start putting it up so that y'all can see them more. And, you know, be more pronounced of what I'm doing. I found something on the internet. I am going to be doing some liquor bottles and some things like that. Yeah. I think you have to do the video, but I tried to do it like the redirect when I was doing the other video. I just can't find the channel, but nevertheless, we'll figure it out. I would like to say that again, if nobody's told you that they love you today, I love you, and you can go to sleep saying I love you. If you're just waking up, I love you. Okay, go out and walk your kids in nature. Get off YouTube, get off the TV. Go do something. Enjoy your life because you only get one. Please like and subscribe. Tell people to come here, okay? Tell people to come here. I need my crowd back, my people back. The lights are on. They'll be more often. I'm trying to make a plan for when I go back to school in the fall where I can at least do nothing, no less than once a week and like really commit to it. But I think this semester I just really got burned out. And I'm gonna work on finding a job. The job I thought it was gonna work. I'm not working, so I legit don't have a job right now to actually work. I'm unemployed for the summer, so I'm gonna figure some hustle things out. So on my downtime, me and apparently so Debonair, we've been feeling the same thing. I've actually been sleeping. I'm tired. I'm trying to get my mojo back. But I've needed some rest too at the same time. So I'm going to love you back. Thank you. Go look on my community post for that. And matter of fact, let me put it in the chat for whoever's watching. My other channels are Princess A.V. tried it, and this one is Palace. I gotta fix this channel, Princess A.V. And also I got some pants I need to, when I finish cleaning the room, I need to finish this video that I'm doing for, if you know the company is Swank a Podge. I bought some pants and I'm doing a video about fitting. So on that channel, I do like, unboxing. I'm going to do like Temu stuff. I review movies and TV shows on there as well. But it's like stuff I try Like I tried it out. So that's the DIY channel. So again, I'll put all my channels up and I'll make them favorites on my main channel. Like when you come to my channel thing and see my favorites down at the bottom, they'll be my channels first. So and so them there's down there. Don't worry. So yeah, this school year has worn me out, and it's a lot of recovery, a lot of mental recovery. And then I'm still in school at the same time. So there's that, trying to do homework and stuff and get my home back in order because I realized it's been kind of far gone and I didn't realize it. But God has got me, okay? Thank you, Deb. But beside that, I don't want to keep holding y'all up. We're almost at 3 hours. I didn't intend for it to be that long, but it has been fun. So now we got all the business out of the way. That's pretty much all that I have for you. Again, if you're on the replay, please hit the like button, show some manners, subscribe to the channel. That is a free way of supporting a Black-owned business. Support my friends and my family. My name is Princess A.V. And this has been House of the Princess 50/50 News. It is now time for me to turn out the lights. Love you guys.